Hello, Serge here with Dave from the front tee, practice tee at Stonecrest Golf Club in Ocala, Florida, where we're having our final one-day golf school, and we got the class with us today. And as you can see, we have 5 of us, our good friends here, and we got Bill here, we got Peggy, Tom, Mort, and Sue. Now, if all you regular Sergites are thinking we got a Peggy and a Sue, could that be the real Peggy Sue? And you're right.
That was the surprise.
That was today's surprise. They flew down here all the way from Jersey, and finally, luckily they got here. They rented a car and got 2 miles and it broke down. And so 2 miles from the dealership, from where they picked it up, but they made it here late last night, and they were here with us all day, and we had a great time. And all our guys here are basically locals. Although you came a couple hours, right? You came from somewhere around Tampa, right? But
I came from the Villages, but I'm from Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Oh, you had to get to Pittsburgh. And Bill, you're from originally
the Villages via Honolulu.
Honolulu. So he's really come a long way. And while we're standing here talking, while I got the camera ready, we found out that Mort and Sue
went to the same high school.
Went to the same high school. How about that? To talk about this is a small world, huh? It's not just at Disney World. And so, what happened today? What do y'all think?
Alignment.
Speak up.
Alignment.
Yes, alignment, and 2 more alignments.
Well, alignment, of course, but also grip and for the rookies, we had to go back to the beginning.
Well, I learned that I need to actually keep my eye on the ball.
If Sue had bad eyes. She had her eyes pointing way out to the right, and her eyes weren't even close to looking at the ball, and it's pretty hard to hit what you can't see.
You guys are very kind and very patient.
We work at that. Alignment. What's the count, Dave? Is that a big zero?
Big zero.
We're still at 0, folks.
We were close though again.
We might have to come up with some kind of prize for somebody who finally shows up at a school and lines up quite well, correctly, enough times where we could say they're pretty good. But
This group wasn't too bad.
They tried, but in the end, if I give them enough rope, they all end up getting out of alignment. But the big thing is again we saw the alignment causes predominantly all the swing problems. And most of the swings we saw were aiming right and therefore pulling to the left. And the good thing with this group of guys was they at least had energetic golf swings. We've had a lot of guys that kind of swung a little soft and easy. And today the gal started out like that, and I just had to give them my comforting talk about the feminine stuff. Once you put your spikes on and hit the grass, it's no huggable, squeezable, kissable, lovable, all that stuff. It's got to come out here, and you got to hit the ball. You got to swing, and you got to put some energy into it. But I didn't have to tell any of these guys to put energy in it because they were doing it. And I mean, Mort, boy, you could smoke it. Just make sure you smoke it the right way. Right? But any other things that really stuck out about what we taught, what you might have learned today?
I got to swing up. To the finish.
Right. But again, the problem with your finish was aiming out to the right. You kept having to pull the ball. All right. Yeah. Anything happen to you, Tom?
Tempo. My tempo's too slow on my backswing. I'm thinking too much, and on the front swing, I got to get those hands out and up and over, not
around you,
and not bending the arms too soon.
Yeah, you tended to swing the club into you, just out. When you did go out, you pulled it in your chest, but pulling in your chest too soon into you instead of over the shoulders.
Exactly.
And starts pushing you backwards. So you have to go over. Remember, you finish at the ear. Your ear's up here, not down there.
Exactly.
And I was reminded of the lesson that I first had with Dave about relaxing my arms, don't overextend, just let them hang loosely,
but firmly. You got to have them energized.
But my arms.
Not locked.
Yeah, not like that.
Anything from you, Bill?
I think the offset on my pings, which causes the face to close, kind of gets me to trying to manipulate the face through the swing, which becomes problematic.
See, what Bill's talking about is he had a club with tremendous offset. All right, and the concept of offset is when the shaft is over here and the head and the face is way back here. The principle behind it is it gives slow swingers a little bit more time to square the face up so they don't block everything off to the right. But Bill doesn't need that help. He hits the ball straight to a little draw. So all that does is help him do what? Hit it way more left. He doesn't need that help. So the first thing I saw with that was I told him he needed to get out of those pings. And I'm also going back to the fact that at one time he was about a 5 handicap. Right? And he told me he hit the ball relatively straight with its draw. So I said, you don't need that help. All that's doing is putting you in the left woods and the left bunkers and everything else. He needs to get a more inline face, almost like a blade, and probably get a smaller flange. He had flanges about that big. He doesn't need that. That's all to help slow swingers get the ball up in the air. That club what would help a player with a lot less club head speed is just whipping him to the left all day. And so the only good shots he hits is when he has to start holding on and cutting them, and that's where part of his problem comes, and possibly the aiming right, because when you're pulling it, you keep aiming, you tend to try to subconsciously aim to the right. What do we do with you, Sue?
Well, the first thing that was really fascinating was he told me my grips were too narrow. And I always had such hand pain from trying to hold it. And you really fixed the grip, and you told me how to take care of my thumb that hurts. And it was amazing, because you have the exact same thing with your thumb. And it doesn't hurt at all. I was totally protected all day.
Yeah, we just put a little more over to the side when you got a bad thumb, or like I have no cartilage in my thumb from, they call that arthritis, I guess, but whatever. I just get a little bit more over to the side, and with a good grip, it fits in that gap right there, so you're okay.
Yeah.
So the grip, you definitely need a bigger grips because you have good sized hands. You're like medium large ladies clubs or whatever, and so we need to get to a fitter and get checked.
Yeah.
Mort, I think I said something about your clubs too, didn't I?
Yeah, I have hybrids, total hybrids in my bag, and you think I do not need hybrids.
Not when you could probably hit it over this tree right here where we were standing. I mean, you hit balls like it was watching a Cape Canaveral launch. And so those clubs are designed to hit them high, and you do. But I think you'd be better. I think you're getting a little too high.
Okay.
So I think I'd get out of those and get a. I like high balls, but I like them penetrating.
Okay.
Not launching.
Okay.
All right. Anything else from you, Tom?
No, I just got that pace is really important. The alignment's really important, and just work on the small technical things that I was mentioned to me. I like that because it's fine tuning what I've already known about the surge swing, and I look at those notes and I'm hopeful to shoot lower scores.
What do you think, Dave? You got anything you want to add from the teacher's perspective?
Well, first of all, I think this week was a huge success with doing the one days, and I think the performance schools, I think, were a hit. I mean, everybody seemed to like them. Did you guys enjoy the playing after the 3 hours of instruction?
Oh, it was awesome.
Yes, definitely.
Because it gave you guys. Now, Bill, I know it was painful for you because you're thinking about score, and that's a good thing. But we went out there today, and we were really trying to work on everybody's alignment on the course, and it's a lot different than the alignment on the range. We can put sticks down and everything, and get in the groove on the range, but we get on the golf course, and we want to. We're thinking about score, and we see a hole with some out of bounds or some stakes or some lateral water hazards, and we get a little frightened and we start aiming somewhere else.
That's true. A lot of people.
Yeah.
And then we caught. I think I caught a couple of them talking about all the things they didn't want to do, and I said, "Excuse me, do you have any idea what you do want to do?"
Yeah.
Well, that would be a good thing to think about. And the other thing I try to enforce or bring out a lot is sometimes we just get too uptight about shots that aren't perfect. And I mean, very few people hit a lot of perfect shots. So the key is golf's a game of misses. He who misses best wins. And the idea is good misses. I mean, if your misses stay in play, you're in the game. They start going out of play, you're losing balls, or you're taking penalties, or you're taking chip outs, and that's how you crank up your score. And just in most cases, just think about if you could get rid of your penalty shots and your chip outs, how much better your score would be. And so, would you give up a little distance to keep it in play and not lose the balls? Absolutely. And so, the key is keeping it in play and being a little bit less, shall we say, picking on yourself if you don't hit it really good. But good misses, that's the name of the game. Keep the ball in play and be proud of your misses because that's it's in the game. And the last thing would be, when you got a difficult shot or whatever, and Bill did say this, he said, my motto was, I said, just say to yourself, what's the odds of me pulling off this shot? It's like gambling. Put an odd on it. And if the odds are really low, like 10% or 0, then that's not a smart shot to play. Bill goes a little bit better. He says, well, I bet $100 I could pull this off. And if he says, if he's not too happy with it, right?
That's right.
You don't do it. Then you
No.
go to something that you know you got a better chance of doing.
Yeah, if you've missed a fairway that's 40 yards wide and you're trying to hit it through a 3-foot opening in the trees, you might want to rethink that.
I totally agree, because 3 foot's pretty hard to get through that tree up there no matter how good you are. It's a lot easier to go under them than it is to go through them. And so good. So that's some of the things we do in the playing lesson, is to get you thinking smarter and thinking scoring. And many times playing safe is a lot better than getting overzealous and trying to do things that you can't do. Because if you haven't done it before, especially on a course, and say it is a tournament, that's not the time to figure out that you think you can do it. That's the time to play it safe and get on a green and count on your short game and your putter, which again comes back to becoming short game wizards. Okay? So we thank you so much for coming.
Can I say
Safe
something?
travels to everybody going back home, especially hopefully you can get back to the airport. and Peggy Sue, thank you so much.
Sue wants to say one more thing.
I just want to say to all the ladies out there that the guys really made us feel comfortable. And Peggy and I are rookies, and they really helped us at the level that we were at. And being out on the field, on the course with these guys, and just learning the rules, learning the etiquette, everything was just absolutely fabulous. So ladies, please join us out here. You'll be glad you did.
Thank you, Sue. And that's another thing. We did talk about rules, etiquette. You were asking me about marking the ball and things of that sort. So we do cover some rules and etiquette, especially when we see that it's needed. And because that's the whole thing. It's you got to learn the rules and the etiquette to really truly play the game. Because golf is one of the most rigid sports in rules and etiquette. And that's why golf is golf. And that's why it's one of the best sports in the world, because we play an honest game and people call penalties on themselves because they know the rules and they live by the rules, and that's the way it is. And fortunately, if we all lived lives as good as that out there, the world would be a happier place. Yeah. So again, thank you so much, Bill, Peggy, Tom, Mort, Sue, and Dave.
Sir?
See you down the road.
Absolutely.
For all of us here, that's it. We'll be talking to you all again soon.